Alright, this is an '06 Chrysler 300C with the Hemi. And we have an engine light on. And so I got a code reader. And the code reader basically says everything is ready. Specifically the cats. And so you look up the code. Okay, and this is the code PO420. And that's bank 1, so that's telling me that on this car the driver's side cat is possibly bad. So what I've done is ordered a cat. We're going to take it off and see if replacing the cat will fix this code. Okay, that looks like the stock cat converter, and this one over here is the driver's side, and it's definitely an aftermarket. So looking at this one, I've kind of determined that it's a BOSAL cat aftermarket. So I'm going to order one for the driver's side. So we'll take this one down, we'll compare them, see if that one looks plugged inside. I got new O2 sensors, and so let's pull this one off and install the other one. So that's what I ordered, BOSAL 793142. That's basically what it looks like. Looks like the other one that's out of the car. I don't think you can see down in there. Don't know if it will focus. A little bit. You can see the holes at the top. There you go. So that one's a brand new, clean, even got some numbers on the front. So we're going to take the other one out, see if it's plugged up or looks bad. So we'll get that one out and we'll install that one. We put some PB Blaster on that muffler bracket. I took out the O2 sensor, which I have already taken out. And you have to have a, you don't have to, but it makes it easier to have one of these O2 wrenches. Pulled out the O2 sensor, which is right there. Can't see it. Focus right there. And then you have 2 bolts up in there, which I already put some PB Blaster on those. So basically it's 3 bolts, but these have been on there for 10 years. So I imagine they're going to be tough. And unfortunately, if those are number 15s like this, I did not have a deep socket. I got a 14 and a 16, so I may have to go find me a deep 15 socket. So I had to use just a wrench, put on there, and then I had to use a bunch of love taps to get that party started because this wasn't long enough. And then once I got enough bite on it, I could put the impact on there and zip that off of there. Otherwise you would have just been having to use this the whole time, or socket set or something. But it's on there pretty tight because it's been on there for 10 years. Okay, this is my setup. It's an impact, and I got this weird swivels. That's a number 16, and you're able to put that up in there and do the back one. Luckily the back one came off real easy. The forward one came off a little harder, but it was a straight shot. So there they are. So right now everything's loose. Let's see if we can pull. It don't move. How am I going to get it off? All right, I jiggled a little bit and it came off. This thing has some play in it right there, and it's loose. It won't drop down there. So I'm going to get 2 hands after it, see if I can jiggle it loose. See, wiggle, jiggle, see if I can get it out of there. Alright, next thing I did, stick a 2x4 up in there so I could pry that off the bolts. All I gotta do is jiggle it up out of there. There she is. It took a whole 15 minutes. Okay, here's 2 side by side. Things that I don't like is these little bends in there. looks like they got some extra bends, so I can already tell that's not going to fit as good. And I can see the new cat is quite a bit larger. And the other thing I was interested in is what does that look like inside? And to me, it looks freaking perfect. Another thing that I don't like in there is this lip. So the exhaust is not going to flow. So they welded it pretty good out here. But this is a larger, like a 3-inch diameter pipe, and this is like a little small restricted. So I'm not sure why they did that. But anyway, that's the same way the other one is on the other side, and the other side's not throwing the code. So we are going to put this new one on there and see if that code disappears. Well, that looks pretty damn good in there, but the little things sure do seem kind of small compared to that one. So you got me of whether that's any good or not. So we'll put it in there and we'll find out, but man, that's looks pretty damn good to me. Let's try to put this in the car. And this pipe the factory one has got a nice bevel on it. I can't really get that in the picture, but this one is really square, so you can't get it started in the hole. This one has a nice beveled edge, so basically it would slide in and out of it real easy. But it looks like this pipe, because they put the bend and all that crap on there, that they've stretched it out or some goofy thing, and that will not go in the hole. The other thing, the fit on these holes is really tight. The fit on these was loose. I don't know if it's marginally an 1/8 or a 1/16 larger, but it makes a huge difference. There's just no wiggle room. I know once I get that end in, there's not going to be any wiggle room to get that to slide on them bolts because of the hole size being different. Okay, I got a couple drill bits here. This smaller one goes in there real easy. That one's already getting stuck in there. The second one I got is a 29/64. That will go in there, and not even close. So what I'm going to do is try to go ahead and drill those out, make them bigger, because I already know you're going to be fighting that son of a gun. And I think I'm going to have to go get a pipe spreader and spread that pipe out that's underneath the car, so that will fit in there. I think they got a rental tool that you can spread that out just a hair, so that'll slide up in there, because there is no way that's going up in there. Alright, basically drilled those out. That same size fit, 9/16, otherwise you're going to be fighting that. Here's the factory ones. Same thing, fit. And that's like a 29/64, but just pick whatever fits through your old one to fit through there and bore that out to make it bigger, or you'll be fighting that sucker for hours. So now we got to figure out how we're going to get that big end to fit in the factory end that's too small, but I think it's just small because it's been clamped. So we're going to go get that spreader, spread that out just marginally, and hopefully that'll fit in there. Alright, I went and got this tool. It's a pipe spreader. Basically, you stick that in there. That'll spread that pipe out just a little bit. I see that there's a, it's not going to come into focus. There it is. There's actually a split in there. It goes back an inch or so. Can't really see it in there, but That allows you to be able to spread that open a little bit. So we're going to try it now, see if it fits. I just used a hand tool on it, couldn't get the impact on it. So if we got to spread that out a little bit more, we'll keep working on it, try to open that up so that new pipe sticks in there. Okay, I would have swore these were different sizes. Marginally. Fraction of a millimeter. Half of a millimeter off. Not even half. So we just got to get that tip of that beveled like that so we can get it started. Push that up in there. Basically, I took a cut-off wheel, made some notches about every inch, and I beveled that in. So we're going to give that a try. And if that don't work, we're going to freaking cut that off and put that other one on there. Okay, the trick to this was put this end in first. Put that up there. And you could pull this end and put it in the hole. It would flex. But if you tried to push this end in there first, this would not go in there. No way, no how, no way. So I'm going to put some anti-seize on them bolts, put them up, push this up where I want it, and bolt that together. Put the clamps on, put the O2 sensor back in, and then we'll give it a try from there. Alright, I can say that wasn't no fun at all. But we got that piece in there, so we had to drill the holes out bigger to make that fit. Got the O2 sensor back in, reconnected. Got the pipe in. It actually hangs down a little bit more than the other one. But it is what it is. So we're gonna see how it runs. These are the rear tailpipes. And you can just see in the center of the screen that other pipe coming into view. So it's hanging down a tiny bit more, but I don't think it's hanging down any more than the mufflers. But man, that's, you know, when everything gets crappier and crappier, you want it to be nice. Looks on this side, to me it looks pretty horrible. That's the thing that's hanging down the most of anything under this car, is that new piece of pipe I put on. So the quality of the bend is crap, the end is crap, the whole thing is pretty crappy in my opinion. And look at how much it hangs down. It's got to be the lowest thing hanging down on this car. It'll probably hit every stinking speed bump there is. Every time you go over a speed bump, that'll probably hit the ground. This is my wife's Chrysler 300 6-cylinder, and you know, I've noticed that this thing is pretty low. I got the tape measure out, and it looks like that is about 5.5 inches. It's an illusion. 5.5 inches on this pipe with all this crap hanging down, and that looks really low, just like the other one. So let's go measure the 300C and see if it's any different. Okay, we're back under the 300C, and it looks like the lowest point is 5.5, same as that other one. Even though this looks low, it's about 1/2 inch higher than the other one. So as sad as I am about that not being all tucked up under there, this part right here is as low as the other car. So we're just going to leave it for now, but I may raise that up. Okay, I'm going to run you through this. I'm going to turn the key on. And basically, when you turn the key on, the engine light will come on. When you start it, it goes off. So you say, well, how do I know that that's working? So you're going to have to use your little meter here. And you're going to do diagnostics. And you're going to do your codes. And it's going to run these. And right there it says monitors incomplete. So they have 0. All of them are complete on this one. Okay, and there's 2 control modules, so you have to pick the one that's running. I'm going to pick the bottom one just to show you what it does if you pick the wrong one. And you're going to go down here and monitor readiness. And see, they say not available, so that's the wrong one. So you got to go back out. And you want to go to that top one. Every car is different. So now you're going to go to readiness. And since I cleared them, and they all say okay. Now that question mark in the center is nothing. It doesn't pertain to the one that says fuel cell, but the ones that we're looking at were the cats. Second one from the bottom, and it says okay. So if you scroll down through here, there's another page, and all those say okay, and one says not available. Okay, so now we're going to go back and we're going to look at the cat test. We can go back up here and read codes, stored codes or pending codes, no code stored. And we'll look at pending codes because sometimes it'll store some pending codes. This one was, and nothing. So now we're going to go back to the ones that say the onboard monitoring test will show you the same readiness test. So we're going to go on that one and we're going to hit enter. And it may say car specific. So we're going to go to Chrysler. And the ones we want to do are those cat monitors. There's a whole bunch of stuff, so you can look at every one of these tests. These are those tests that are on that other page. So we want the first catalyst that I repaired, and the test results, okay, says okay. So the test was 0.03. The minimum was 0.00 and the max was 0.06. Now we should have taken a picture of this before we changed it because I think it was 0.47 or 0.48. So let's look at the other cat, which is the passenger side cat, and we'll see that it's the older cat, and that's the difference. See, the older cat is 0.21 with a max of 0.47. So the problem is, to get this test to work, the O2s have to work. So if your O2 sensors are not working, the cats are always going to say incomplete. But all these oxygen monitors, see, you have 4 oxygen sensors. So each one of these has to be working, and the oxygen sensor does a lot of stuff. So there's your oxygen sensor. I'm not 100% sure which one of these are. There's 4 of them, so but each one of these is before cat and after cat, and that's why you have the oxygen sensors, the cat monitors, and the oxygen sensor heater are all on the O2 sensor. So an O2 sensor does those 3 things. So in order to get the cats to work, your O2 sensors have to work. Okay, so that's it. And we have an engine that's running with no O2 sensors, and we put like and we can see that they're working on this thing that I got from Harbor Freight. These are, I don't know, $100, but you can go buy one. If you're working on a car now, a modern car, you have to have one of these or you'll never figure out what's wrong with it. So in order to make this work, I had to buy O2 sensors because that was the first thing that said it was failing. And then I had to get the cat. Okay, there you go.